What's up everybody, welcome back. So the fun continues in the Great League Remix because in today's video, we're going to be trying out a really unique and interesting double electric team comp in the Great League Remix. Basically a team comp consisting of Heliolisk as the save swap and Manectric as the closer. Now Heliolisk is honestly one of my absolute favorite Pokemon. I mean all Gen 6 Pokemon are, but with Heliolisk I really wanted to try out Parabolic Charge as one of its charge moves. Unfortunately Parabolic Charge isn't that great, so I'm going to be using Thunderbolt anyways. And with Manectric as the closer, with Snarl as the fast move for energy generation, and with Wild Charge and Overheat, this thing has the nuke potential against vast majority of the meta, as long as you can get Mud Boys out of the way, right? Which is why you're going to be using Heliolisk as the save swap to bait out some ground types, and we're going to be using Araquanid, which is the tank which is going to hold this team together here. So you have Araquanid into a Mantine. We have two amazing responses to a Mantine, so immediately switching into the Heliolisk, and they come in with their Kanto Sandslash. Now this is the exact situation where Grass Knot on Heliolisk is going to come in super clutch, because I don't know if they're expecting it. I'm just going to go straight for the Grass Knot right now. Obviously going to do super effective damage and one-shots the Sandslash, and just like that we were able to flip switch advantage, and they come back with their Mantine. This tells me that they could be incredibly weak to Heliolisk in the back, which is great, because at this point I'm actually going to shield the Bubble Beam because these Volt Switches are doing so much damage, and because Manectric is not running an electric type fast move, it's going to be hard to farm down the Mantine with Snarl. We're going to do as much damage with a Volt Switch as possible. I'm going to come in with my Araquanid to soak this damage, because I'm assuming they're running Bubble Beam and Ice Beam, in which case Araquanid also kind of completely walls Mantine, right? I'm going to actually build up to the Bug Buzz. I honestly shouldn't have thrown right there. It could have farmed up a little bit more. Ends up being a CMP type, which is okay. We take the Bubble Beam, go for the Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz, I was thinking of undercharging it, but I'm just going to go for it anyways. We just want to KO the Mantine here. And let's see what they have in the back. They have a Melmetal in the back. So I'm just going to stay in, wait for them to throw the Rock Slide, get the Bubble Beam debuff off, just so, it makes it easier for the Manectric here. So I'm just going to go for the Bubble Beam right now. Bubble Beam will be taking out, will lower the defense of the Melmetal. And I'm going to come in with Manectric, and I'm just going to shield in the odd chance that this is a superpower. I just want to shield the first one. Honestly, could have let the first one go through anyways, but I'm going to actually build up to 2 Wild Charges, and then going to go for the back-to-back here. I really wanted to land the Overheat on the Melmetal, but we probably won't get to it. They're probably going to get to a move, so I'm just going to play it safe. Go for the second Wild Charge here, and Wild Charge will easily take out the Melmetal. The Melmetal is pretty glassy in the Great League, so one Wild Charge would be easily enough to take it out there. Moving into the next battle here, we have Araquanid into a Pelipper. So not a great lead this is a really bad lead, but luckily we have two amazing responses to Pelipper, and they make a switch into their Lurantis. Now, I don't mind if they switch into a ground type, but if they switch into a grass type, that can be really problematic for Heliolisk, because Heliolisk gets completely walled by grass types. Thunderbolt still does a sizable chunk of damage though, but I really want to make a play for switch advantage. So I'm actually going to shield this, and I'm really hoping that the energy lead we got, because they were slightly slow to switch out, can help me flip switch advantage here. At this point, I'm going to go straight for the Grass Knot right now. Both Grass Knot and Thunderbolt are resisted. I went for Thunderbolt the first time because it has stab, and it's obviously a harder hitting move. I'm going to shield up this Leaf Blade in hopes that I can get to a Grass Knot, but Lurantis is barely able to outpace. This is very unfortunate because we lost both switch and shield advantage. It's going to be very difficult to overcome here, right? I'm going to come in with my Manectric and farm this thing all the way down, and their final Pokemon is a Munchlax. Now this is unfortunate because Munchlax is pretty tanky, so I'm actually going to build up to the 2 Wild Charges. Going to throw the first one. I'm going to bank a Wild Charge and then switch it into Araquanid here. And surprisingly, they are still staying in, which is really good for me, because I want the Munchlax to stay in here for as long as possible, because with Manectric having a loaded Wild Charge, we're going to be able to have that one-shot potential against Pelipper. Charge move is going to come through. It is a Body Slam here. We can comfortably tank that, and I'm going for the Bug Buzz right away. Just want to get some massive damage onto this Munchlax here. Bug Buzz lands for some big damage, and they come back with their Pelipper. Unfortunately, they're going to be able to farm all the way down because there's nothing Araquanid has which can threaten the health of this Pelipper. So I'm just going to fire off Bubble Beams. In hindsight, it probably could have gone Bug Buzz. I don't know. Bug Buzz might have KO'd there. I don't know, I'm definitely probably a misplay in that case. But going for the Bubble Beam here, immediately switching it to the Manectric and going for the Wild Charge, basically wasting a ton of energy because they probably had 2 Weather Balls backed up right now, and hopefully I can get to a Wild Charge here, but we fall just short. Munchlax is going to be able to outpace, and unfortunately we're going to go down here. Probably in hindsight, I probably could have thrown the Bug Buzz, or I could have farmed up a little bit more to 2 Wild Charges and then thrown, because Pelipper was debuffed anyway, but I think 2 Weather Balls would have definitely KO'd the Manectric. Moving into the next one here, we have Araquanid into an Alolan Marowak. Not the best lead, but they make a switch into their Wigglytuff. I don't really have a solid response to a Charmer, so I'm definitely going to stay in and get the Bubble Beam debuff off. and then I'm going to switch into my Manectric. The reason I come into Manectric is because Manectric doesn't have the best matchup against AVAC. Heliolisk actually has a decent matchup because it's that normal typing, right? You're going to resist ghost moves. We're going to shield this up here, and because we managed to sneak an extra snarl through, I'm going to be able to get the back-to-back wild charges here. So I'm going to go for the first wild charge, gets the shield, able to get the second wild charge as well. This is either going to get the second shield from Wigglytuff or take it out, either of which is okay. We win switch advantage, which is great. They come in with their Hypno. This is great. We're going to be able to come in with the Araquanid here. Araquanid is a pretty solid matchup against Hypno. I was conscious about them catching a Bug Buzz on the Alolan Marowak, but they stay in anyway, going for the Bug Buzz right away, doing massive, super effective damage, and I'm going to switch it to the Heliolisk to hopefully catch a Shadow Ball here. And we catch the Shadow Ball, which is great. Shadow Ball is double resisted. We're going to be able to farm down the Hypno, and then out comes Alolan Marowak, and we're going to go for the Thunderbolt right now. Now, obviously, this is most Alolan Marowaks these days are actually not running Bone Club. They're actually running the Shadow Bone Fire Blast combination, which makes it even better for Heliolisk. But I'm going to shield this up anyways. As you can see, they go for Shadow Bone. So they're probably running Shadow Bone and Fire Blast, but we're able to Volt Switch down there. Obviously, Heliolisk has an even better matchup if it's a Hex Alolan Marowak, because the only thing they can go for is Fire Blast, which is going to take a lot of time to charge up. Moving into the next one here, we have Araquanid into an Alolan Raichu, kind of a neutral matchup because we're both doing super effective damage to each other. I was trying to switch into the Heliolisk to catch an electric move. Unfortunately, I don't time it correctly. Luckily, we sneak an extra Volt Switch through. I'm going to shield this just in case it's a Grass Knot. Unfortunately, just a Thunder Punch Shield Bait, which is not good. So going for my Grass Knot here, I'm hoping they let this go through, but of course they shield that. But Charge Move is going to come through. I cannot afford to go down 2 shields here, right? And unfortunately, this time they go for Grass Knot. That near one-shots the Heliolisk. It's just so glassy, Heliolisk, unfortunately. But I'm going to come in with my Manectric and then Snarl farm this Alolan Raichu all the way down. This is where I make a bit of a mistake. I counted and I thought this was just going to be a Thunder Punch. I shielded up anyway just in case I miscalculated and they had a Grass Knot for some reason. And that ended up costing me the game here because I really needed to preserve that shield towards endgame because Manectric is so glassy. So they make a switch into their Quagsire. We have an Araquanid here, but Quagsire is one Mud Boy that Araquanid honestly doesn't have a great matchup against because this thing has access to Stone Edge. I'd much rather see a Whiscash or even a Seismitoad for that matter, but definitely do not want to go up against a Quagsire. But we can still hang in there because Bug Buzz does quite a bit of damage, and then they can go for a Stone Edge right now. And this is where it gets tricky, right? If I go for a Wild Charge, that's going to lower my defense. If I go for an Overheat, that's going to lower my attack. So I'm going to have to make a call because Manectric is pretty glassy. I decide to go for the Overheat because I don't want to lower my defense. Much rather lower my attack. And this is where I make a mistake. I thought the Raichu was close to a Thunder Punch for some reason, which is why I decided to throw. I didn't want to get hit by a Thunder Punch. And honestly, I should have farmed down because I needed 2 Wild Charges to get rid of this Lapras, right? Because the thing is, Manectric is now debuffed because of the Overheat, and as you can see, Wild Charge does not one-shot fully, and definitely a bit of a misplay on my part. I could have done 2 or 3 things differently there, but we learn and move on here. So we met with the Whiscash. This is something you definitely want to see on the lead. This Spider is absolutely going to wall this fish here, and they make a switch into their Alolan Marowak. Again, the same play again. I'm actually going to do 2 Bubble Beams here, get off 2 Bubble Beams, and then switch into my Heliolisk to hopefully catch a Shadow Bone here. It's going to go for the Bubble Beam, going to immediately switch into the Heliolisk, but they don't throw. But they throw now. This is not going to be enough for a Fire Blast. It's just a Shadow Bone, which is double resisted, which is great. Again, I think they're running Fire Blast as well. Then most Alolan Marowaks are not running Bone Club, which makes it even better for Heliolisk. Going for the Thunderbolt right now does massive damage against this Alolan Marowak. I don't have to shield this as well. They already showed that they don't have Bone Club. It is just another Shadow Bone. It's a double debuff, double resisted Shadow Bone. And we're going to be able to farm on hoping Whiscash comes back in because I want to one-shot it with Grass Knot. Unfortunately, they come in with Zweilous. So they're probably aware of the movesets of Heliolisk, so props to them. Going for the Thunderbolt still does close to 50% of Zweilous' health. And I'm actually going to come in with my Manectric because Manectric doesn't really have too much play against a Whiscash. And we still have an Araquanid with 2 shields here. I'm not going to shield anything. Araquanid is going to be able to clean up. We can just safely let this go here. It is a Body Slam. Still does a lot of damage. And I'm going to go for the Wild Charge right now. Even though this is resisted, this will KO this Zweilous. And then all I need to do is come back with the Araquanid. And then they go for a Mud Bomb. I don't have to shield the thing. There's nothing in Whiscash's moveset which can do anything against Araquanid. And this game is over right now. And they're just going to stay in. They're still trying to play it out here. Trying to spam as many Mud Bombs as they can. They need probably like 4 or 5 more Mud Bombs, but we have so much energy and we have 2 shields as well, and this game is over. Going for the Bug Buzz right now should do massive damage against Whiscash, and their defense drops and they decide to concede the match there. So moving into the next one here, we are 2-2 in the set right now. Actually, we have met with a Dugong. So this is absolutely beautifully ranked. In fact, the whole team beats Dugong. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to wait for them to throw the Icy Wind. I'm actually going to wait for them to throw 2 Icy Winds and basically farm up to 100 energy and then switch here. I really don't want to switch right now. I don't want to switch into an Icy Wind onto the Heliolisk. So I'm basically going to make sure that their energy dry. And then I'm going to come in with my Heliolisk right now. So I'm going to come in with my Heliolisk here and let's see what they decide to do. They are still staying in and they make a switch into their Golbat. So they're probably core broken by Heliolisk. This is fantastic for me because I'm actually going to shield this and I'm going to commit to the complete Volt Switch farm down here. We're probably going to have to give up another shield because Heliolisk is so glassy, but I'm fine with that. Heliolisk with this much of an energy lead, I'm going to be able to get the shields back. And they've already shown that they don't really have a solid counter to a Heliolisk. So Manectric also has a pretty clear path to sweep towards endgame. And out comes a Lickitung. I guess that makes sense why they didn't switch out because Lickitung also doesn't have a great matchup against Heliolisk because those licks are double resisted. I'm able to get the second Thunderbolt off and now I'm going to switch into my Manectric here. I don't want to get farmed down because Heliolisk was double debuffed in terms of its defense and nothing here will one-shot. We can comfortably tank one move and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to overfarm and throw the Wild Charge on the CMP here. I don't want them to farm down the Manectric, so I'm going to go for the Wild Charge and they gets the shield and ends up being a CMP, which is perfect because they don't have any more residual energy. And this is going to be a Body Slam which is going to take out the Manectric there, and then I can basically come in with my Heliolisk and go for the Grass Knot, right? Because now we've cleared the debuff and those licks are still double resisted. As you can see, it's not doing too much damage. They try to farm down, they fail. We're going to be able to go for a Grass Knot and this game is over because we have an Araquanid against a Dugong and there's nothing Dugong can do against Araquanid here. Going for the Bug Buzz right now, right away here, doing massive damage, and it doesn't matter what they throw. Even if they debuff me with Icy Wind, we should still be able to get to a Bug Buzz. A Bug Buzz should be more than enough to take it out there. So again, these Ice Water types, I mean, this team can really handle some Ice Water types. You don't see Wall Rain obviously because that's banned for the remix, but if they come in with their Lapras or Dugong, it's the best case scenario there. So we actually finished with a 3-2 set. Honestly, could have gone 4-1 or even 5-0, made a couple of misplays. But yeah, overall, I feel like this team is a lot better than the couple of teams that I showcased in my previous videos. Those were all like a little bit of meme teams just for fun. But this team, honestly, I think could have a little bit more play. This is moving into a bonus battle. I really wanted to showcase this battle because I used Gourgeist with Fire Blast on the lead instead of Araquanid, and we're going to see how this battle plays out. We met with a Crobat on the lead, not the best lead here, and they make a switch into their Lucario. So we're getting RPS right now, straight up hard countered. I'm actually going to shield this because there's no way Heliolisk is surviving a power-up punch. So because I know that was going to be a CMP type, we're going to be able to get off a Thunderbolt and to get the shield from the Lucario. And we get the shield anyway. I was hoping they would let that go through, but of course they're going to shield that. And now I can come in with my Gourgeist and they don't even build up to a Shadow Ball. This is just a power-up punch. Even though that's boosted, it's still double resisted. And Gourgeist is actually kind of tanky. It's actually a little bit more tankier than Trevenant. I would have loved to use Trevenant, but Trevenant is obviously banned in Remix. This is just going to be another power-up punch here. They're just trying to chip away with power-up punch. This is perfect because I can completely Hex farm this thing down. Because we've banked a Fire Blast, and then I'm going to switch into my Manectric here, and they have a Lapras in the back. This is beautiful because all I need to do is get off 2 Wild Charges here. I'm going to shield this up definitely because Manectric is just so glassy, and then yeah, we're going to build up 2 Wild Charges and go for the back-to-back here. If the first one gets the shield, the second one will one-shot, but they actually let that go through. One-shots the Lapras. They're immediately going to go for the Wild Charge onto this Crobat, and they shield that. They try to farm down here, and I'm really hoping they don't have enough for a Shadow Ball. I'm going to try and go for the Fire Blast. Unfortunately, they lose CMP. Is this going to be a Shadow Ball? This is going to be close here. It's just a Poison Fang. We survived the Poison Fang. We're able to get to the Fire Blast on the Gourgeist, and Fire Blast is going to one-shot the Crobat, and that's going to take the win for us there. So yeah, I mean, Araquanid is obviously ended up working out as a better lead for me than Gourgeist, but actually Gourgeist can actually be pretty solid pick as far as the Remix Cup is concerned, considering that Trevenant is banned. Also, you can also run Fire Blast just to catch a few people off guard, just having that nuke potential against Registeels and probably other steel types. But overall, again, like I said, this team was a lot of fun. If I played it perfectly, I could have had a more positive set, could have gone 4-1. I'm definitely looking forward to using this team in the future, in the coming season, hopefully when the Remix Cup comes back around the next time as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Please do leave a like and subscribe as well if you want to. If you haven't already, it really helps the channel grow. And again, until next time, take care.